You ever wonder why men don't really express themselves and share their feelings? We gonna talk about it. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm your boy Chris Friday, and this is a quick little word. So we gonna get straight into it. So one of the main reasons that men don't express themselves and just put their feelings out there and show any type of emotion is because society has basically said, showed us, and told us that we can't, right? And most people are going to argue, like, oh, well, it's 2022, get over it. Here's the deal: from the time we are born and we are little boys, we little boys, you hear me? We are told not to cry, to be tough, etc., etc. Prime one example is, you know, if you hurt yourself, like being a little boy, and you hurt yourself and you crying, the first thing they're gonna say is, or the first thing that I remember being told many a times by many people is, stop all that crying. You're a boy. Boys don't cry. And on the flip side to that, and in the same sentence, they tell you, or at least I was, and I know some men, some other brothers, and men were told the same thing. On the flip side of that, it was, you know, you got to be tough because you're a boy. You know what I'm saying? So that carried on, and that has carried on from childhood to preteen to teenage years, and ultimately, into adulthood. So when people are confused as to why a lot of men don't express themselves, it's because it started at such a young age, and it was drilled into a lot of our minds. So what happens? You turn completely hard. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to manage emotions. In some cases, we were never taught how to express ourselves, and especially express ourselves in a healthy way. So when it comes to, you know, women asking like, oh, why men don't express themselves, they don't talk and, put their feelings out there, it's because we haven't been given, in most cases, a safe space to do so. Now, that's not to say that at a certain point, at a certain age, that we as men shouldn't take accountability and figure out and get the proper help to help us do those things, because we absolutely should. But this isn't about that. This is about why we don't. Even here's another example. I can remember being in my teens, my mid to late teens, and you know, really dealing with like young ladies. You heard me at the time. I can remember trying expressing myself, and it always got called, oh, you soft, whatever whatever, because most young ladies at that time, they wanted the bad boy, they wanted somebody that was tough or whatever. So like, you either play the role or you move around. You know what I mean? It was never a safe space. And I think that too has hindered like men from really just putting themselves out there. Now, when it comes to us being open and honest and putting our feelings out there on the table, sometimes we've been laughed at. It's like, oh, well, you nice, but you're not for me, and that's okay, because maybe you just not right. But I'm just expressing as to why men haven't put themselves out there in that way. Now, when you think about being a young 5 year old kid or a 13-year-old boy, and you try to go to an adult in your life at the time, whether it's a parent, a guardian, your uncle, your cousin, somebody that's older, and you tell them and you try to express to them, like, that you're dealing with something, 9 times out of 10, it was shut down by, you're a boy, act like it. You need to be tough and stop crying and stop being so soft. So what naturally would happen is you would automatically just like turn your nose up to it, and like you eventually like stop trying to be soft and express yourself and your emotions. You don't know, you get to a point where you don't even know how because you've been shut down by everybody, and it's everyone that was supposed to be there to protect you and show you the way. They literally wouldn't even acknowledge those emotions and those feelings, because as a young boy, you it's almost as if like you weren't even supposed to have those emotions and feelings, right? And that's not to discredit those adults, because again, I truly do feel like it was a generational thing. They probably were told the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a boy. They should be tough and yada yada yada. Um, Music Soul Child even said in one of his songs, and I'm a mess this up, but it's one of my favorite songs actually. Love. And I think he said that something about like men shouldn't cry or something like that. And it's like, and y'all know what I'm talking about. If you listen to the song, you'll know. I'm really like paraphrasing that. But if as a young kid, as a young boy, you're constantly told those things, it's hard to open up and lay it down. And then too, like even as an adult, as a grown man, you know, we aren't really or really haven't had a safe space. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying that this is a women's issue, because it's definitely a man's issue. And I think before men go to women, they should deal with their stuff. They should, talk to a therapist, a homeboy that has some insight, uh, their loved one, somebody, and be like, hey, like this is bothering me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to open up and show emotions and show and share my feelings and show my feelings or whatever. Absolutely, they should do that. Also, you know, I think it's important for women to be patient. Just be patient with the brother. You hear me? Like, if he don't know how to express himself and you see him trying, just listen to him. You hear me? Like, give him some time. You know what I'm saying? Be that safe space for him. You know, that way he can show you that affectionate side and that soft side of him. Because no dude in this world, no man in this world is 100% tough and hard all the time. All of us got a soft spot, right? And we all show that soft spot eventually in the right situations to the right people. So to the women out there, just be patient and be gentle, and like don't don't neglect, like when a dude is trying to express himself to you, or like trying, like literally like be in tune, like listen, you know what I'm saying? uh don't like try to rush it or force it out of him or whatever like that. Like if that brother gets to a point to where it's like he about to open up to you and share with you some intimate stuff, listen and like give that undivided attention, because it helps more than you think and more than you probably would know. It definitely would help. But to my brothers though, to the men out there, you got to deal with you. We got to deal with us. And I know we've been dealing with what society has placed on us. A lot of us didn't have the proper male figures, you know what I'm saying? And it has gotten us to adulthood, and we still can't cope. We still can't articulate and express. So it's on us now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and probably above. And if you still struggling to express yourself, express what you need in a healthy manner, and clearly communicate your emotions and feelings, regardless to whether it's with um your spouse, or if it's in a relationship setting, or even just in a friend setting. Like maybe you got, uh, friends that you can't even effectively communicate with and express what you need and what you want and what's going on with you because of things that was going on, that happened, in your childhood. It's time for you to take action. It's time for you to take accountability, and it's time for you as a man to say, you know what, this is a problem. All of my relationships have failed. You know what I'm saying? You can't always point the finger. Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and have that self reflection moment and be like, okay, this woman has told me that this was a problem. I wasn't expressing myself and she wanted me to open up and I couldn't. So that failed. And you go on to the next relationship and that failed. Like at some point in time, you got to be like, okay, well, maybe it's me. And a lot of times it probably is in that situation, right? So it's probably best that you take a break. You take some time away from dating and all of that stuff to work on you and figure out what do I need to do to get myself to a point to where I'm able to effectively and in a healthy manner communicate my wants, my needs, and express my emotions and feelings without feeling, you know, shame or like, you aren't allowed to, it's a bad thing if you do that, because it's not. I promise you it's not. It's actually really good, and it feels good when you can open up and lay your feelings out there, and be vulnerable. And it's okay to be vulnerable. As a man, you can literally be soft. You ain't gotta always try to be hard and be this brick wall, you know, but you have to take the step to get some type of help and figure out what's the root cause of the issue. Because if not, you're not only gonna damage yourself when it comes to dating and relationships, but you're gonna damage the person that you get involved with. And that's not fair either. So accountability must be had, and I know a lot of brothers and a lot of men don't want to hear that, but that's the truth and reality of this, right? I know as kids, and I know I'm saying I said this before, and I know as kids, we weren't really given that space. We weren't taught how to express ourselves, and it just wasn't safe because of, again, family or even our peers, right? Like we all had friends that would clown us if we cried or anything like that. So that's not an excuse no more. We are grown adults. We are men. It is time for you to take things into your own hands. Acknowledge the past. Acknowledge what happened, and then move accordingly to get what you need. Only you know that though, and only you can do it. You can sit here and listen to me, or you can listen to, you know, the women in your life, or even like, if you got some close friends that are men that have told you the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we all can tell you the same thing, but unless you take that information and do something with it, you know what I'm saying? So it's on you. And I think it is important if you take a minute to like step back and really deep dive and look in the mirror and analyze, you know, why you don't communicate and express yourself. And two, it may be a situation to where somebody hurt you, but again, I'm not a therapist. I can't tell you that. I can't deep dive into the root cause of what's going on with you. You have to talk to someone, preferably a licensed professional. I'm just saying, I'm just a messenger, and I just wanted to put that out there. And that's just a small snippet. Like, I can dive even deeper into it. But, again, this is a quick little word. I ain't going to hold you and take up too much of your time. But I appreciate you for tuning in. And again, as always, if you like the sweater that your boy rocking, please check out the description. I placed a link to my website, to my clothing brand. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? Check out Fations. It's, again, I think it's something for everybody on the site. So don't be afraid to look around, shop around, make your purchase. Be sure to tag me on on here, or any other of my social medias, Instagram, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate you and thank you for tuning in to a quick little word.